Hey guys, and welcome to tutorial number 2. In this one I'll cover some of the basic commands and what the mod can do in general. So as we saw in the first video, you can access the console through the web browser using Nulux mod, and from here you can run any console command in game, and it makes it a lot easier to see the output because you're not battling with limitations on output length in the console. So BC help, or BC-help, will give you all of the Bad Company commands and a quick intro on what they do, and then you can do individual help, so say BC LP list players. This is out of date, so I'll need to update it to what the version 2 command can now do. So while we're at it, let's have a quick look at BC list player. So if there's 999, obviously it defaults to online only. You can do /all or /offline. So I'm the only player that's been on the server, and because I'm not online at the moment, certain variables won't be available. And in version 2 I've now added a filter system. So first of all, I guess you'd want to look at the filters to see what's available. So to access any of these, you just do filter equals and then the text with a comma between and no spaces. So say you wanted Steam ID and name, simple as that, and the order can be whatever you want, and whoops, apparently it doesn't. I also didn't do that one right. You can also use the numerical indexes. 9, I think it's position, and of course you got all the extra options like that, or vectors and so on for your position variable, or any location variable. And I might not have done the players one yet, but other commands at least you can specify the order in a different order. Yeah, obviously I haven't done that one. What else have we got? So by default it only lists the single value properties, which is these ones. So all of these here have a array of some sort. So we'll have a look at bag, actually make it tool belt. So you can see I'm holding 4 items. I think that one's my custom nail gun and so on. So the type on the items is indexed 1 through, was it 2046? 0 through 2046 for blocks, and then from 4097 onwards is the items. So if you wanted to get the item ID that matches the XML, you'd take 4096 off that, which would make that about 3500. What else we got? So that's the players command. There's also list entities, which given no one's on the server there won't be any, but one of my commands, get spawn, will let you generate a spawn or get a valid spawn point in a location. So ground level at 00 would be 117, and using that you can then spawn an entity with the regular vanilla commands, and we can now see that zombie bow is online. So you could spawn a couple of those, maybe a zombie mo, and say animal wolf. If someone shows up at that spot, they'll get a sudden bunch of entities spawn on them. So list all of them. While we're looking at list entity, you have a number of options. So you can do is type, which should filter out the wolf, or yep, that one was the so even if it's a derived class from entity alive, it will show, whereas just type. Won't do any because there's none that directly descend from entity alive. So you can either specify an exact type or a type that's a parent of the ones you want. So as far as the JSON output goes, you've got a couple of options. Some of them have pp/pp by default, like this one, which is print pretty, so it puts all the nice line breaks and indenting and such. If that's in the config, you can override that with 1L, one line, and it'll put it all in one line for you, and that will obviously make it a bit easier on the network traffic if you're using the server manager. The other option is min, which will not work on this one because they haven't implemented it, but if we look at list players, it will not work either. Great. I know I did it on one of them. Must have been game objects. So what have I done? Recipes. Did not go. Interesting. Pretty sure that's a command. I've broken something. Don't know why that's doing that. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, min, when it works, will remove all of the keys and just return all of the values as a comma separated list instead of a dictionary. And that pretty much covers those. So what else we got? Actually, if we look in here, so in the commands I've grouped them into 5 sections. Admin entities, obviously cover all of the fun stuff with entities. Set skill on player will let you explicitly set the skills to various numbers. That doesn't currently need you to meet the requirements other than I think level, and obviously you can't set it beyond a valid level, it will just fail. You can also give quests or remove quests from players, buffs to players and to entities. The buff entities one is quite fun. You can set everything on fire or kill them all sorts of different things. BC remove will so where's our entities? So they're still there. And if I do BC remove all, that tells you that it's removed 5 zombie bows, 1 Mo and 1 wolf. You can also do explicit IDs as well. If we spawn another wolf, check that it's there, and 2952, you can remove it explicitly that way. Tells you where to remove it from if there's only one. If you try to remove a player, obviously it will tell you off or not let you do it anyway. What else we got? So it's that one. So game objects. The base command is bcgo or game object, and the first variable you pass it is the type of the object you want to look at, which is in here. So those two are your own command, but the rest of them you can access through bcgo. So if you did bcgo space blocks, it would give you all of the blocks and so on, and the same filter system applies to these as well. You also have a couple of alias commands. So blocks and items are actually aliases for the item class command because they are both considered item classes in the hub cell data. So I've changed this one. Previous version it would load all of the hub cells, or 144 of them, which could put a major hiccup on your server for a couple of minutes. So the new version will only do one one cell, radius by default, and you can specify an offset and a radius to increase the area of the number of cells that it grabs. So I think that's out of date now. It's actually somewhere in here. So reset will clear all the data that it's cached if you need to do that for some reason. So you got O for offset and R for radius. So /O equals 0, 0, I should make it 0, 1, R equals 2, and look for traders. Oh, that one didn't work. Oh, I don't think I've done the individual one yet. Helps if I put a slash. That's why it didn't work. Or not. What did I code that as? It was kind of separated. Oh, I'll have to look up that later. And moving on. So live data, obviously you got your players and entities, which we've already covered. Time's just a handy little function to get a few stats from the server. Am I running an old version? I am. That's the problem. Let me just fix that. I must have copied the wrong one in from the repo. Yeah, I did actually, didn't I? Alright, let's try that again. I'll just do a build, make sure we've got the absolute latest. So this is the process I have to go through when I'm modding. Where is it been? So the MDB and the PDB file you won't need, those are just for debugging. Actually I better just grab the configs again because it's probably out of date. And you can't update the DLL when the server's running, so you just got to shut that down quickly and then start it up when you're done. Right, so while that's booting up, get spawn you saw me using before, that basically just has the X and Z and returns your Y, but it also gets the chunk and loads it in, and it stays loaded for quite a while if no one's on the server. When people leave, it will unload that. BC lock is used for getting your location. You've got a couple of options. You can do H, C and R, which gives you the height, chunk and region. Alright, that's better. So you can see you get the day, hours and minutes of the server. Ticks is essentially how many seconds it's been running for. FPS is how loaded the server's how loaded it is. If it gets down below 20, it's usually not very good. And obviously player clients and entities in the world, which if we do this will change to 1. So back to BC Go, now that I've updated to the correct version. Actually, we'll just show you this with the min. Yeah, it's better. So yeah, it strips all the keys out, and then obviously if you did one L as well, you'd get it all in a nice compact form. So BC Go with no, if I type it right, with no parameters will tell you all of the options. So yeah, as mentioned, those two aren't actually valid options on BC Go, they've got their own commands. So yeah, you can just get all the data that way. Some of them aren't finished yet. I think, which one did I finish? Recipes. So it gives you all of the recipes. and this is probably a good one to show the filter. So if you did filter 0, you'd get just the names, and ingredients, because I can't remember offhand what index it is. And then you could do something fun like min one line, and you get a nice little array of all of your ingredients for the recipes. Right. Don't know if there's anything else you really need to see on that at the moment. I don't know how far I got through on that one. It's probably not very. No. So yeah, I've finished all the framework for these, so just a matter of fleshing out all the properties. I've got the code there, I just need to translate it to my new system. Right, so moving on from there, admins, did I finish that one? I don't know if I did. Let's have a look. Alright, there you go, so you can see all of the admin details. What's that? Commands that are got something covered in the default. Whitelisted players, banned players, and admins. Oops, not that one. This one. Right, active chunks. Probably just give us one. I think I just called that CC, like the base command. So yeah, it tells you the chunk details. If I use this at a different location, it would then have another chunk loaded. So that's the chunk coordinates, not the world coordinates. Right. And utilities. So broadcast API, once it's finished, will allow server managers to send a command to the server and subscribe to a data output or data stream. Memory trash, I'll probably get rid of it, it's not really doing anything. So the settings command, that lets you use a basically a 4-point system and then a value. Need a bit of feedback to tell you it's actually been set. So this is used for various events and such to store their configs, and the data in this set command is stored persistently, so when the server reboots it's still there. And I'll add a clear command to that eventually. So, and then underworld editing, obviously not much use looking at it outside of the game, although with the get spawn you can load a chunk in and actually do the commands without being on the server. Visit region I can show you. So if we just go back to our map, you can see that it's barely being explored. We'll turn the regions on. So what do we got? Region -1, -1. I think I had an alias for just visit, -1, -1, and it's a handy command to run in game. So if you're in game, when it finishes it would tell you that it's finished in a private message, but obviously through the web browser it won't. But you can see its progress. It's actually working. I did say -1, didn't I? Yep. It's not going to work. Oh, if it was working it would reveal the map for me. Let me just try it again. Oh, it's still running, it's obviously taking its time. Oh, there we go, finally. Normally it's a bit quicker than that. It's for unloaded chunks it usually takes, it does about 20 chunks per second, and the region is about 1,000 chunks, so do the math and you can work out how long it would take to explore your 20 by 20 or 40 by 40 grid of regions. So it's basically the same as the visit map command, but using region coordinates instead, just to make it a bit easier to use in game. Alright, tile entity's not done yet, reset's not done. So the export I'll show you in the next tutorial. in game, same with import and word blocks, and that pretty much covers all the commands for now. Under the event system, I'm still working on fleshing those out, but I'll be adding all these in eventually and other ideas as I come up with them. Right, so that pretty much covers the intro level commands. I'll see you in the next tutorial.